Ahoy, everyone, and welcome aboard the DCL show, where we're talking all things Disney Cruise Line. I'm your captain, Rhino, joined with my co-captains today, Elaine Edwards.
Hey, friends.
The one and only Chris Vorbeck.
Do I need to do that?
I cut to Chloe by accident. Chris, it's all you.
There you go. Do I need to do this? Well, you should have cut it. There you go. Hi.
Oh, we got two from you. All
go.
right, fantastic. Two salutes. The one and only Chloe Ferreira.
Ahoy.
Hi. Oh, she went alternating. I love this journey for us. You know what? And it's even better for the listening folks that have no clue what we're doing. We're just saluting each other here in a room. But that's what it's all about here, right? Just having fun. So, and helping you plan the perfect Disney Cruise Line vacation. But you know who can do that even better than us? Well, better than me and Chloe at least, are the amazing agents over at Dreams Unlimited Travel. They are experts at helping you plan that perfect Disney Cruise Line vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you receive a shipboard credit of up to $1,000, as well as a sweet little cruise gift basket. And that's for all cruise lines, not just Disney, right? So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, hello, everyone. If you hadn't noticed yet, I've got a little bit of nerves today. And that's because this is my first DCL show. And I'm very excited to be here. Thank you. I do appreciate it. That was canned, by the way. We pre-recorded that, and I'm just pumping in that sound right now. They're all just staring at me in anger and disgust. No, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I am not, just for my background, I've been on a couple of Disney cruises. I've been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, actually two of those, I believe, and I've been on one Viking cruise around Italy. That was very lovely. And that is the extent of my cruise information. So I'm going to be playing the role of the novice and the idiot savant, if you will, minus the savant. So I'm excited for all of you to do all the heavy lifting and take me through this journey. Now, let me turn it over to you. Elaine, what are we talking about today?
So we're going to talk about Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point on the item of Eleuthera.
Eleuthera.
Yay!
Okay. That's not the word I heard before we got started, but that's fine. I am excited. This is the newest of our, I'm going to say the newest of the Disney islands. Like they have a plethora of these islands. The second Disney island, yeah?
It is. However, it is not a standalone private island. The as we said, the island of Eleuthera. And this is kind of a private beach on the peninsula of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very southern bit, and it's Eleuthera is actually a very long island. It's the farthest. It actually leads out to the Atlantic, and it's lovely.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to talking about it. I know we have talked about it on a couple of our other shows, our Disney World show, or Disney, I should just say Disney show. And maybe on a Dream show, there was some chatter about it, but you know where it belongs? Cruise Line show.
Yes, if you want to check back to the Dreams Unlimited Travel show, we have an episode about comparing Lookout Cay to Castaway Cay. It's the ultimate showdown battle, and we tell you who wins. And then we also have our top tips for Lookout Cay on the Dreams Unlimited Travel show.
Awesome. And that is over on Dreams Unlimited, youtube.com/Dreams Unlimited Travel. That's where we have a bunch of those fun, helpful shows, planning your vacations and whatnot and things. So everyone in this room has been to Lookout Cay except for me, right? Yes. Very good. Okay. I don't know why I'm saying very good. I'm jealous is really what I'm saying under my breath here. Except for, Chris, you've been twice, yeah?
I have. I went on the preview cruise, and then I had the opportunity to go. Well, it was previously scheduled before they did the preview cruise. 2 weeks later, I was going again. So on the Magic.
Oh,
so
fantastic! Well, I'd love to hear some compare and contrast because I've only heard stuff about the preview cruise. Now, Elaine, where do you want to start? Where should we go with this conversation?
I think we need to start with. Let's start with Chris.
Let's start at the
he can
beginning.
kinda
It's a
just
very good
tell
place.
us his experiences as far as I want to know what has changed. A lot of people heard from, because the preview cruise was a lot of travel agencies, it was a lot of media, it was a lot of influencers, it was a lot of bloggers, vloggers, that kind of thing. And so a lot of people got that initial rush of information about the preview cruise.
Yeah.
So now that Chris was on a public cruise a few days later, I'm really interested to hear what has changed between those two cruises.
Well, can I ask you a question before we get too far into that? I'm just curious because Chloe and Elaine, you were both only on the preview cruise, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, and Elaine, your feedback that you've gotten from guests or things like that, or the internet, heard of it? What are some of those things that you feel like people are concerned about that we can ask Chris specifically, like how have those changed? Like I personally have heard a lot about flies being an issue, and I'm curious to hear about how that situation is evolving and things like that. So are there things that you think that people had heard about the preview cruise that you're wondering?
Yes.
Are they
So
different?
there was that. And then, of course, everybody likes to talk about that
pier.
lovely walk to
Yeah.
get your steps in when you get to the island. So I know that they have actually made some changes there.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess Chris, why don't you take it away? Tell us how you feel, what you noticed those differences were from the preview to your cruise.
They first off, when you're seeing stuff on the internet, be careful what you're watching because
It's on the internet. It's true.
There was a lot of stuff out there and several folks who were posting things that weren't there.
Oh.
So you cannot watch videos and then say, "Oh, let me comment on it." You need to actually go. So I will tell you, it was when we were there the first time, it was the first time that any Disney crew had ever been on that island.
That's wild.
Right.
They were learning, and they sent them over literally 2 hours before, and they were trained for 2 hours. On that cruise, and in fact, even on the second one, asked somebody where the bathroom was, and they said, "I'm sorry, I don't know," because they had 2 hours to be on the island, on the location. So they were figuring it out as well. That being said, on the second one, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was dialed. They were learning. You could tell that they were just diving in and figuring out how to make things work. So are there flies on the island? Yes. They were dramatically less. They were covering things up in ways so there wasn't, you probably saw the videos of flies all over food. You did not have that, at least where I was. Now, my second cruise, we had a cabana on that was close to the, what do they call that? The side where the family.
That's the family beach.
Family
side. Well,
beach.
no, it's not the family beach. It's
It's
just
not the family. It's the family
cabana
cabanas.
side.
I still don't understand why they have that, but
Is there a beach there?
There is a beach, and it's lovely, and you get to look right out over the ship, and it's actually a very lovely location. They have a separate dining area there. By the way, the cabanas there are awesome, super, super fantastic. That being said, if you want to go over to the other side of the island, you have to haul your way over there. You don't have to.
The only people that can swim at that beach are the people in the cabanas.
Correct.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Facing the ship.
it's not very crowded. They did bring Minnie came over, so we got character greetings over there, which was great. But you have to take the tram over if you want to go to the rest of the island. But the food was all covered. I didn't have any problems with flies whatsoever, and I went over to the other part of the site of Lookout Cay, and I asked a bunch of folks, and they are clearly very focused on dealing with that. So the flies was not an issue. It's an outside location. There are flies at Castaway as well, but it wasn't like it was.
And the flies is just kind of like when Chris said that was the first time the crew had ever been there.
Right.
This is like the first time the flies have seen
Yeah.
a buffet of
Correct.
food.
Yeah,
Because they
bringing-
were cooking the meals for the first time.
Right.
They're so focused on
So-
Lookout Cay being a natural environment, and they did very little to with their
Negate that?
eco
Yeah.
footprint to have a Disney private island or private destination here, but keep the natural beauty and really make less of an impact. And so when you bring something like buffets of food to a natural
Late loads of
ecosystem,
food, right?
you're
Yeah.
going to have flies, especially that first weekend.
Well,
so
here's the
it
thing: if
definitely
you
was the
bring in
worst
all you
then.
can eat buffets anywhere, I'm going to show up. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
we were
just-
all there.
Yeah.
So
The flies had to be going, yes.
yeah. But really quick about the tram, that was my second note below the flies on my first visit. The tram was very, very slow on my first visit. Has that changed at all? I feel like they were going like 3 miles an hour, and you felt it when it was
speed-wise.
100 degrees
Okay.
of heat.
Yeah, I talked about
Yeah.
that a lot. Yeah.
The second time I was there, it was not nearly as hot as the preview cruise
Yeah.
was steamy that day. So this was not nearly as hot, so it was hard to do a complete compare and contrast.
Of course.
They did move, but not. They're moving slowly, and
They're pretty slow.
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
wonder what
slow.
the reason is for that. Because I felt like I would feel it pick up a little bit, and then I'd feel them press on the brakes more. And I'm like, no, please go faster. I want to get there already.
Right. And we need some breeze. We need some breeze.
Yeah.
I would love to see, and this is coming from somebody who's not cruising that often, but like how around cities now they have like the Lime scooters. Give me the rent scooter and I'll pay you. Disney, you can charge me $20 for the ride,
Lookout
whatever, and let
Cay
me
Lime
scoot.
scooter.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's money to be made there.
They're going to have bikes, and why couldn't
I
you
can't
bike
wait for
over?
that.
That would be lovely.
Wait,
I'd
they-
love to do that.
Do they don't have bikes where you get off the ship? It's like further on, right? Like at
No,
Castaway.
they'll have. Well, I don't know. The bikes weren't there either time I was there yet. They're going to have bikes. I don't know if they're going to have bikes on where you get, at the end of the pier that you can then take over. I know they have a place for bikes over on the family, the family side of the beach. So the other thing that people were very worried about is they now have water stations halfway down the pier, where they're handing out cold towels and stuff to deal with the walk
good.
that people have to do. And I always remind clients that the walk is because they didn't want to just cut into coral, which are having a hard enough time because the sea is getting warmer, and so they wanted to actually protect the coral. In fact, on Lookout Cay, they're growing coral underwater. It's lovely. There's a whole YouTube video about it.
And that is the son from The Walking Dead, correct? Stupid joke. Sorry. Coral.
Didn't ask.
I was going to say one of my top travel tips. I always am like, this thing changed my life that I bring with me everywhere. That sounds like you definitely want to hear is a UV umbrella on Amazon or whatever. Like, you ever get it? I feel like I'd be like, okay, that's good to know because I wouldn't think to pack that for a cruise. But I'm like, yeah, 100%.
There was a lot of people that were using umbrellas as they walked out there, and I will tell you,
we're in the age of the parasol.
It is. We're gonna
Everything
promenade.
comes back again, right?
We're gonna promenade just like in Bridgerton. Up and down the pier.
Perfect. See, I love it. Roll it into, make it like I'm wearing like a little pattern today that has like dogs with like as captains on ships. I'm like,
seersucker,
sell
right?
that stuff right where you get off the ship, and you've got yourself another sale. Give me the scooter, give me the parasol, and you are just taking my money. I don't care. Yeah. Well, no,
and just one other thing that they've because there was all sorts of problems with people who needed to take some kind of transportation. They couldn't walk the distance. They have that. It's not perfect yet because they only have so many vehicles to get people.
Sure.
So but you want to sign up early. As soon as you get on board, you sign up. You go to guest services and sign up, and then they have everyone go to a place on the ship and call them out in chunks. So they seem to have worked that in a better way than was on our. Now I just walked it. But if that's an issue, they seem to have it a little bit more dialed as well. They are making improvements all the time. It's very clear that they are figuring it out as they go.
Like honestly, like anytime anything opens operational wise, attractions, the gardens at Epcot, all that stuff. It's always a matter of like. You have the theoretical, and then you have the reality.
And it's so funny because I saw one of the videos of somebody who didn't actually go, but was commenting on. It said, you always know the best day is opening day. I'm like, no. Disneyland was not perfect on day one. I think operations needs to get in there and understand how all these things work together before they really get it all.
I think I'm becoming that mindset where it's like, give it a month, like give me that break. I don't want to be that opening day where everybody's like there right away. I mean, it's true of a lot of experiences. I mean, you look at Tiana's Bayou or things like that where you're like, work it out, and then I'll come down when you guys have that like perfect motion and that Disney magic and everything, and the ease of things. Like right now, the fact that it's how long has it been now as of recording this? I think it's been like a month or two, a month. Yeah, it was
a month and a half. Month and a half.
And it's like, okay, now that's getting into the sweet spot for me where I'm like, okay, like so.
That's what
there's been feedback,
Yeah, that's what I did when I booked the Wish. Is everybody was wanting to book the Wish within the first month or two.
Yeah.
So I booked mine for September because I figured, they came in they originally were supposed to come in June. They came in July. That tells you right there how opening
Yeah.
things go.
Right, exactly.
But I booked mine for September because I figured by then they've worked all the kinks
Yeah.
out. Things like this. This is a brand new. It's not even a ride or a ship. It's a brand new destination.
Yeah.
They don't know what they don't know, and they don't know it until people are there.
Can I ask you
So-
guys a basic question? I mean, this is probably like common knowledge. How long is the ship docked for, on average? I know it can change or whatever, but like how long are you on the island days?
So I know that when we got there, they docked, and we were there for, I would say,
We
like,
got there about 8:30 in the morning
Yeah.
because none of us trusted that was actually the case because we're used to Castaway, where at Castaway you're in early,
Yeah.
so you never see it really dock. Here we actually got to see it dock, and that was true on the second one as well.
And that whole process really took like an hour, I
And
would say.
takes
Just
an hour.
The
the-
pulling up
yeah.
and getting things back and forth and the ropes and the tie downs and all of that. And then they actually made an announcement to us that they wanted everybody to stay in their rooms or stay in lounges, that kind of thing, because they needed time to get the crew off. They needed time to get supplies off, that kind of thing. So they didn't want people clogging the stairwells or lining up or that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
we were allowed to get off, I think it was 11 or 10:30.
I was actually surprised because during COVID they used boarding groups,
Yeah.
Yeah.
almost like a virtual queue kind of thing. I was kind of surprised that they aren't doing that for setting something up, because
That would make sense.
even still on both cruises there were people who were clogging the hallways and ready to go. Everyone's excited to go. I totally get it.
Yeah.
One other interesting thing, because Elaine, you probably get this a lot as well. People always ask, because Castaway starboard side is the side that gives you the gorgeous view of the family beach, right? I was on the Disney Magic for both cruises. It docked a different way each time. So one time it was port side, one time it was starboard side.
Wow.
So I don't
interesting.
know whether they haven't figured that out yet, or whether it depends on sea conditions or
Just
what it
flipping a
is.
coin.
But it's
Like-
it could be that Captain happened. We did it that one time. That last time, let's try it this time. I don't know whether they will get into a groove where it's always on the same. By the same token, it's not the same view as
Well, can I
get
ask
on
you a
Castaway
question in
Key.
that realm as well? Is that what ships are going to Lookout?
So
Is it
it's
all-
a
it's
it's
not
a
all of them,
Disney
right?
private space, so no one else docks
No.
there.
I mean, what Disney ships? Are they all docking there right now, or is it
Essentially,
just?
if you actually look out on the schedule, which right now we can book through May of 2026.
Oh wow!
There's even a Wish one.
Yeah,
that
bunch of
goes
them.
there. So
Because I know the ships like
Yeah.
reposition, and there's the
the
summer
one-
out
I
in the
don't-
west, and
I didn't. The Treasure's not going there,
Correct.
and I'm not sure. I know the Fantasy is, the Magic is.
The Dream is as well.
The
I didn't
Dream
mean to
is.
put you on
So
the spot. I
think-
just was
I
curious.
don't think the Wonder is.
No, the Wonder's all West Coast
Yeah, so the
and
Wonder is
going
not,
down to
the
Australia.
Treasure
Okay.
is not, but the other three are.
Because the Wonder is the one that goes to Alaska, right?
Alaska,
Traditionally,
it's
that's
also
the one.
going down to Australia and doing those. All stuff in the Pacific.
I only ask because I know that there's people people have like their favorite Disney ships and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, and
Well, and-
someday I hope to have one.
And people also want to, like, just haven't been on this one ship, so that's, they want to try
they
and
want to
complete the
this.
rounds.
Has everyone in this room been on all the ships?
No.
Chloe?
Disney cruise ships.
Yeah.
I actually just completed my bucket list for Disney Cruise Line until the treasure, is finally
So you've
here.
done them
but
all?
I have done them all finally.
What was the last holdout?
the Magic?
I guess this is a better conversation for a different show, but we'll get there because we are going to have another conversation about today. We're recording a couple of shows today, and I feel like I just was like, wow, that's a great idea to put in another show, but I don't want to take my hands off the switcher to write it down. So somebody remember that for me. But no, I appreciate those questions. Can I ask you a couple of random questions about Lookout Cay? I know we're going to end up running just a little bit longer than we normally do, but so we've talked about some of those changes that I know some people have concerns about, specifically like the flies is the big thing on the internet. Can I just ask each of you like what your favorite thing about the island is? Chloe, you want to tell me something?
Yes,
Yeah.
the beaches were beautiful.
Amen.
I feel like that's why they built this there. The water, I could not get enough time in the water. It was like a giant sandbar. I was on the family beach, and I walked down a little bit, kind of closer to the rocks area, and there was no one over there. And this was a full cruise. I was on the preview cruise, but it was still a full cruise, and it's a smaller ship, so less people, but it's still like I feel like I could go off and be remote and just be by myself in the water, and it was so lovely. It was very warm out, very hot out. It was June already, right?
Yeah.
So Florida weather I'm used to, but it was very
warm.
warm.
Was still
but the
refreshing,
water,
even though the water was not cold.
It was very
and
refreshing, and it was crystal clear. Like I could see sea life and fish
like
and shells, and it was gorgeous.
And
I just
Elaine
sat
mentioned
there,
this
happy
on
as a
the
clam.
Dream Show, but there aren't any the sand. I don't know what it is, what kind of sand it is, but like on a lot of sand, it's like you're doing the because it's hot. The sand was not hot.
Yeah.
Like you could walk barefoot, and it's
noticed that
just
too.
comfort and like it's like walking in pillows. It was
That's
the
good to know.
beach is spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really lovely.
I used to vacation Clearwater Beach as a kid, the west coast of Florida, and it reminded me of old Clearwater before it got a little too vacation. Two people.
People showed
yes.
up.
And because you could see through the water like that, and it was beautiful. Like I mean, I have endless amounts of photos of the ship with the water on the beaches, and it looks like they're edited. It looks like the saturation is just boosted up. It is unreal how beautiful that water is there. So I can't wait to go
no
back
filter,
for
right?
more water.
And you're saying this as somebody who has been to Castaway like repeatedly
I have,
too.
yeah. I love Castaway Cay, and I would like to spend more time at the adult beach, I think, at Lookout Cay, because I don't have too much experience with that. So I'd love to hear from you guys in comparison to Serenity Bay at Castaway, because that's where I live usually. I just noticed that Castaway has a lot more shaded spots versus Lookout, which I know obviously there's a lot of baby plants that we've seen at Lookout Cay, and over time they will grow and it'll be a lot more shaded like Castaway is. But yeah, just a comparison of the two adult beaches, because it's my demographic. Is how did you guys like that in comparison?
So I will say my answer to the original question
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
sorry.
same.
No,
Another
it's
I'm
your
just
question.
tie it all together. I got it.
She's got it. She's going it. She's
Tie it
weaving
all
the.
together.
She's making us a quilt.
My answer to the original question is the same. It is the beach itself. That, as we've talked about, it is gorgeous. The island is still getting put together, but the beach itself is true. Like I thought Castaway Cay was beautiful, and I talked it up, and tell everybody about how it's just like it is the beach of your dreams. But honestly, I like this beach better.
Oh, okay.
I do, because it is, and it comes down to the adult beach that when you're at Castaway, I feel like I have to wear shoes in the water because my feet get absolutely ripped to shreds because of the rocks
coral.
and the coral and that kind of thing. And as you're walking around, you have all of the seaweed that is completely entangling your legs and that kind of thing. And as you get further from the ship on Castaway, the water gets colder. And there are times that I feel like I'm very, very cold in the water on the adult side. As far as Lookout Cay, it is powder sand. It is. There are no rocks in that water or on that beach. I mean, it is very fine powder sand. You do not need to wear shoes, and you get in the water, and it is the same. There is just it is clear and empty and nothing there, and it is just but it's a nice cool, and it is so refreshing. I mean, it was truly amazing. And so I have no issues at all with the adult beach.
And just going on, piggybacking on what you're saying is Castaway can feel crowded to me. There are times when, particularly if you're on the Wish, there's a lot of people on the Wish, and it can feel like there's a lot of. I never felt that way, even though, again, I was on the Magic both times, so a smaller ship. But never did I, particularly on the beach, the people were stretched out. There was plenty of space. It's really the beach is lovely.
Yeah.
So everybody's saying the beach. Then we're
Well,
going Universal.
I'm going to
or
add
what do
two
you
other
have?
things that I think are
Sure.
really amazing. One, I think the merch is great at Lookout.
I'm a merch person, so I like to know.
The stuff they did with the unique designs of each of the characters.
Listen, I'm saying right now before I forget, if anyone sees the UV Spirit jersey, the one that's like the one you can swim in, I need one of those, please. They literally, the last time I was on a Disney cruise, I saw one person with it on. And
Do you want
it was
the
in that one ship.
I have an extra of the Lookout Cay ones.
Can I swim in it?
Yeah.
It's not one that's going to drown me, right?
No,
That's regular fabric.
Yeah.
They make a swim shirt one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Well, just saying.
It's on its
All
way.
right, sorry, I
I'll
didn't
send
mean
it
to
to
cut you off. It was just important.
the
for my body.
T-shirts, the swim. I thought all that was really awesome. I also think that there's a diversity of stuff to do on the island. And you mentioned this on the Dream Show, that this is a piece of a much larger island. So you can do excursions that are outside of Lookout.
Oh, can you? Okay,
into
I didn't
the
know this. Yeah.
island
Okay.
that are really that are fun to do, and it's you get a whole different, unique view of the Bahamas that's outside of Nassau, outside of. And they're going to have bikes, as we talked about earlier. Well, there's places to bike. There's a whole nature trail. There
it's
are really. I
gorgeous.
think there's plenty of stuff to. Not everyone likes just sitting on a beach.
I
And so there
do
are-
not personally.
Yeah,
So yeah.
because I turn this not very attractive color if I get too much sun. So no one wants to see that. So I like to do other things, and there's a huge amount of stuff. And I've said two. I'm going to do three. The level that they brought the Bohemian stuff, the flavor in. So they have a whole store that's filled with Bohemian wear. That is, and they have Bohemians who have done these cute, adorable purses.
Oh yeah.
That are,
Somebody
did you
had a
get one?
purse. Hannah had a purse, right?
I got one. I'm actually in the middle of, I want to write a quick article about this because that was such a surprise that they had those there
So
because they
lovely.
kind of feel a little bootleg. They're not
right.
official Disney
Exactly.
merchandise.
Oh, it's like
and
the
I
Times
was like,
Square photo opportunity.
yeah. But the best part about it was I was freaking out just about the cute little Mickey face on one, and then my friend Diego loves Stitch, so I was getting him the Stitch one, and I was paying for it, and she's like, "Would you like your name embroidered on it?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I would." Like, I love the personalization, and it was just $4 more to get my name embroidered on it just below the little character face. $4 more for that, and you could pick out the color of the thread, and just something like that was so simple. And I watched her do it. I took some photos of her because it was just like a really sweet moment that one of the locals offers that on the island, and I loved that. That's something that, I don't know, it's such a unique experience that you have in the Bahamas, but then it also has the Disney touch because it has the Disney characters, but it also just I don't know, it just felt weird because it wasn't official merch too. It was really cute.
Yeah, I got complete like goosebumps during the Junkanoo parade as it was
Yeah,
coming
that
out.
was great.
We talked about this on the Dream Show that we didn't as far as like Hannah and I know that like Craig and Corey, they were up at the stage waiting for the show.
Yeah.
And the rest of us were down at the store areas when they started coming out. So we actually saw it as a parade. And these gentlemen and ladies that were performing in this parade, you could tell by the smiles on the faces how proud they were to be representing their culture.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I
And
love
that's
that.
I'm not that kind of person, but I am because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
The way that the performance was amazing, but just, you could see it on their faces.
That's cool.
They were so proud.
Don't miss the Junkanoo. The Junkanoo is so fun. I didn't see the other show. I think it's Eaton Sand or whatever it is.
Goofy.
I didn't see that one, but the Junkanoo is so fun, and playing these different instruments and just clapping. It's really well worth seeing. And again, they don't have something like that in the design of the buildings, how they just flow into the. I think the island is really, really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds, the way you're describing it all, like there sounds like there's some really unique opportunities on this island versus Castaway Cay, and it's great. I mean,
I think it's hard to do a compare and contrast to them because they are meant to be different things. They're meant to be, so people who get to do both islands get a more complete look. Castaway, they've made up a story in order to, and it's great. It's fun. They're embracing the story that is there, which is the nature, the people, the space. I think it's lovely.
And might I say, I did not have an alcoholic beverage that I did not thoroughly enjoy on Lookout Cay.
Okay, because I was like,
The-
I was going to
the
ask that
bars
question
are
too.
popping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you able to actually find any of the ones that they talked about in like the blog or like the Disney Parks blog articles or anything like that?
I mean, the Eleuthera Euphoria, their like signature drink, was my favorite.
Okay.
That's the
Didn't
one
have
where
that
it's aged rum, pineapple smoothie mix, and of course Dole Whip. And
Oh.
yeah,
'Cause
they
I wasn't
it's
able-
exclusive to
I went
Lookout.
to 3 of the bars and wasn't able. None of them. They all said we don't have the stuff to make it because I was trying to get
Oh no!
like the things that were, and they said we don't have the stuff or we don't have the slushy machine or like whatever. So I
No,
tried. So I was just drinking standard stuff that you can buy at any bar.
I also had one of the blended coffee cocktails as well, and that was really good. No, I'm sorry, I forget which bar it was, but I've successfully found a couple of the different signature beverages, and they were all delicious.
And
I
what
was
really
happy with them
cool
all.
is they give them to you. It's an
Yes.
insulated cup.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every single cup is an insulated cup.
They're
Yeah.
reusable and
It's
replaceable,
reusable.
and so they're not. It's great.
Yeah.
So it's not melting as soon as they hand it to
No,
you.
honestly, like I was in the shade majority of the time I was enjoying my beverages, but they were mostly the blended ice beverages, and they stayed icy till the very bottom. Like it was not melted at all. So that was kudos
Okay,
to
I
them.
have one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. I have a million more questions, but I have one important thing. Do they have the stuff in the water, like they do at
No.
Castaway,
They
or is
don't
it just?
have the stuff in the water, and I actually asked that question
Yeah.
to find out why. And because that is a question a lot of people
Yeah.
have been asking me, have been asking on our DCL fan Facebook group, that kind of thing, is because they want to go snorkeling and they want to see all the secret hidden things down below. They have not done any of that. The reason being is because of preserving the natural state, and they want you to be able to see the natural state and be able to see the natural coral, the plants, the wildlife that's down there, that kind of thing. I mean, we had stingrays swimming by us. when we
Yeah,
were
that's
out there.
wild.
Wow.
I mean, so that's what they wanted, is that for you to be able to enjoy that part of it.
Wow.
the
okay.
nature.
The nature.
The
It's
nature.
Coconut water. Sorry, that was a Saturday Night Live.
You
sketch
have
about
this
visiting
great
Africa.
when you're snorkeling. You have this great view. It almost feels like the old submarine ride, right? You know, it feels because you can actually see, and so
That's
it's
so funny you said that, because I actually thought of the seas even just now when we were just talking about the nature and the deluge and everything. But when we first pulled up to Lookout Cay, and when you're on the pier, there's this huge rock formation on the right side, natural of course, and there's water splashing up against it, and it just gave me just retro The Living Seas vibes. And I just wanted to stand there all day and just like watch the water splashing up against this rock. And it's the most natural, it's not a fake Disney fountain.
Yes, and
but it's
that
just
little spot.
I love
the
it.
Photos that you can get of the water splashing up and the ship is right behind him. And like she said earlier, like you don't have to put any filters on it or anything because the colors are so vibrant and it's so beautiful. I mean,
turquoise waters by definition.
Take me back. Let's go.
What time is usually shipped to shore, or whatever the expression is? I don't know. That's not the right word. What time are they like, hey, get out of here, get back on the ship? Is that usually like a 4, 5?
usually about 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. Don't
I know
listen to what they tell you on
Well,
the ship.
obviously,
Don't take
I
our
was
word
going
for
to
it.
say, I'm sure it changes time of year, whatever.
Right.
and
You need to
everything,
listen
but-
to what they tell you, but
Okay.
it's usually about 5 o'clock.
I was just curious
so-
because the length of time you get to really absorb in this island, because it does sound like there's a lot more to do. Not a lot more to do. It just sounds like there's a lot of different opportunities for people who might be well versed in the other in Castaway Cay, and so it's one of those where it's like, oh, this is cool. It sounds cool. I'm excited. I hope to visit someday. I have more questions I could ask, but we have reached our time, so we're going to take this ship to shore. And sorry, I couldn't build you a bigger show, Rose. Don't forget about Dreams Unlimited Travel when booking your next Disney Cruise Line vacation. Elaine and Chris are both clearly well versed in this island and Disney Cruise Line as well, so feel free to reach out to them. They would love to help you set sail on your next vacation. I feel like I've got some good arm choreography going down for this show, but thank you everybody for joining me for this show and letting me be the person who just asks dumb questions over and over again. Get used to it. Thank you everybody out there for being with us. If you are watching this and you want to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. Click that bell. You get notified whenever we release any sort of content. If you are listening listening to this and you want to rate and review it whenever you have an opportunity, well, that would be just swell. And again, if you have any questions, leave comments on the video. You can reach out to Elaine or Chris. Their emails have popped up on here. Do you want to say what they are really quick on the show, Elaine?
Yeah, so mine is Elaine, ELAINE, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
Great.
And I'm Chris V, because there's another Chris. So I'm Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
Awesome. I wanted to make sure we said it out loud because I'm not forgetting about you, our listening folks out there. But thank you, everybody. And that is going to do it for this DCL show, but we'll be back with more. Until then, I don't have anything to say on the way out.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Chloe got me.